3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead Fred to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead Fred to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead Fred to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead Fred to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty roads. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes. Bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that, man? This real man talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead Fred to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead Fred to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Mono. Living super clean. That it came up. 1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you.
Hello, Miss Shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. There we go again. Shalom and shalom to you all on this evening. Yamaya, shalom. Thank you for joining me, sis. On this Thursday, it's just a normal Thursday here for us because we do not celebrate the slaughter and massacre and genocide of other brown people. So all praise to the Most High for y'all for joining me on this Thursday evening. I know you could have been anywhere in the world and on this internet, but you're here with me and I appreciate that. A lot going on today, but our main topic is Black women and the gay bestie. And let me assure y'all, like I did some diving for this because I didn't want to, I don't like to talk about things that I don't live or I don't know about. Okay. So I did a little research on this. And I'm not saying that I've never had gay friends or whatever, or gay male friends. I'm not saying I never had that. But we'll discuss and get into all that a little bit later. Brew News, Sister Delta, Shalom and Shalom, sis. Like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications if you would like to know when we go live here at the House of Mono. If you're new here, please allow me to introduce myself. I am at Miss Mono's World on all these social media platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. At Miss Mono's World, please follow me, and you'll see my family and everything else that we have going on over here at the House of Mono. Speaking of the House of Mono, I have to shout out the most hardest working, sexiest, most loving husband in Israel, Monologue with Dad, ladies and gentlemen. Please follow him on all your social media platforms. If you're on the YouTube, go ahead and close your little chat box. You can come right back to it, but hit that thumbs up for us there. We would definitely appreciate that. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. Also, shout out to my audience on Messiah TV. If you do not have the Messiah TV app, please go ahead and download it. It is on your Roku's, on your smart TVs. If you can't get to the TV, there's always Messiah.tv. You can watch live. There are past episodes there, not just of my show, but of other great righteous content. So when you get a moment, download the Messiah TV app. And listen, if you're watching me on Messiah TV, stay on Messiah TV. Pick up your phone so you can comment on YouTube. Give us a like on YouTube. Show us some love on YouTube. Okay. All right. Let's see. Am I finished with my shout outs? I think I am. Listen, please feel free to join in the conversation here. This is a interactive podcast here. Okay. I want to know what y'all think about what I'm saying. But the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, this Cassie and Diddy lawsuit. Okay. The quickest, and I'm not just saying this, like a legal analyst said, this quickest lawsuit settlement in American history. Okay. 24 hours and that thing was done. So when I was reading about why it was settled so fast, apparently Cassie was running out of time. So if you don't know, the state of New York not too long ago extended their statute of limitations on reporting sexual abuse for adults, right? So apparently, if you've been keeping up with the story, Cassie went through this horrible years, horrible. I don't remember how many years it was. I don't know why I want to say it was 10, but she went through some horrible years with this man, left him, married someone else. And during her pregnancy, this is what was reported, that during her pregnancy, when she had to be sober, is when she started having all these nightmares and like just horrific flashbacks and stuff like that, which is what prompted her to go to a therapist and seek compensation for the damage that was done to her. I'm not mad at her for that. Okay. And it's so funny to see stories come out now about people who have been around forever. Like, okay, I'm 43 now, just turned 43. Okay. I'm 43, right? So I've been through the 80s and the 90s. So I was there when what was his name at first? I was there when Puff Daddy was on Motown with Andre Harrell. Okay, this was before Bad Boy. I remember that. I remember when him and Mary J. Blige was the thing, because he had produced her on What's the 411? Okay, I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember this. If you are, help me out. But so I remember when he started. I remember when he was with Misa, his first baby's mother. Like, I remember all this stuff. And I also remember when Wendy Williams sat on WBLS and started reporting to us about the gay rapper. And she will always just tell these stories about the gay rapper and his sidekick and all these wild parties and all the things that were going on. And anybody that was listening in a tri-state area, I don't think anybody doubted that she was talking about Puffy and who would have been Mace at the time. So this is not news to anyone. And I think anybody with common sense would agree, like if enough people are saying something about you for a long enough time, we would be fools to not give these people. And here's the thing, these are people that have real life run-ins with this man. Okay, these aren't little rumors. This isn't a tabloid report. These are people who've had real life run-ins with this man. We're talking about singers from Danity Kane, 112. What was that show he did? Making the Band. Mace had complaints. It was who's that? Shine. He was, you know what I'm saying? It's like the rap sheet is long as heck. If this was anybody else, okay, if this was anybody else, they'd probably be under the jail by now. Okay. But you know what money and power will do for you in this country? Money, power, and the right connections and good lawyers and NDAs. Okay. Because apparently that's the weapon, the NDA. That's where he got his tactics from. That's what I've heard. I've heard that's where he got his tactics from as well. Yes. So that's the funny thing. His Misa, you don't really hear too much. I don't recall really hearing too much about her speaking bad about him in the public. But it was kind of just a known fact that it was an abusive relationship. Like this is just like locally known. You understand what I'm saying? Like everybody knows that. And then, you know, what happened with Kim Porter. And so with Cassie bringing out this lawsuit, you just have all these people who are saying like, no, yes, we've been seeing this the whole time. Something's wrong with this man. So I don't know where this is going. Yes, that lawsuit is settled, but it's kind of like you woke a sleeping dragon here. So let's see, you know, what's going to go on with that. Big Gahi 316. Biggie had the trend in his video standing up in the bathroom. I heard about that. What video is that? I can picture the video in my head, but I can't think of the song. I think it was the One More Chance video. I did hear about that. I don't know. I don't know about that man's proclivities. Val Shalon, I hope I said your name right. Shalom and Shalom, thank you for joining me. So yeah, let's just, you know, see what's gonna happen. So everybody's favorite couple, or one of, you know, a lot of people like them. I'm not gonna say everybody's favorite couple, but one of America's favorite Black couples, Tiana Taylor and Amon Shumpert, as you know, they are in the middle of a divorce now. But reports have come out that allegedly she filed for this divorce months ago, citing his narcissistic behavior. She reported that he had been arrested for multiple DUIs, that he has blocked opportunities for her, that she turned down jobs because he was feeling insecure. When they would go out for events, the photographers would ask him to move out the way so they could just get a picture of her, and it just all became unbearable for her. All right. And now let me say this too. I also remember her talking about them having threesomes like regularly. Okay. And I'm gonna get to that. But the other day my husband sent me a meme, and it said it was a picture of Mr. Clean cleaning, and the caption was me if my wife made $12 million or whatever. And me and my husband were talking about it, and he was like, yeah, if you got $12 million now, that would be cool. He's like, but if you would have had that when we got married, I wouldn't have married you. And I'm like, man, why would you say that? And he said, because it's hard to get a woman to submit when she's already well off. And I can't necessarily disagree with him. Okay, because think about how we get. All right, when our money is good, and this is a problem that we as Black women have as a whole. We get a little education, or we come up some other kind of way, and our money is good, and all of a sudden we don't need a man anymore. All right, all of a sudden a man ain't nothing but the meat between his legs, and we see no other need for them in our life. We can buy everything that we thought a man was supposed to do for us. So now I can just go buy a handyman. I can pay for security. I can pay for this. I can pay for that. So what do I need a man for? Now, Tiana reported that while Amon had a $40 million contract with one team, he got signed to a $300 million contract with another team. Okay. And so he was making a lot more money than her at one time. And so he wanted her to sit her tail down. Like he wanted her to sit down and be a wife and be at home raising his children, just like any man would once he acquires more. Like when a man can look at you and knows that he can provide for you, in his mind, what reason do you have to be out here trying to compete with me? Because at this point, it's a competition. Okay. And I know you're going to be like, oh, why do you look at it that way? How is it not that way? If we're all on the same team, we're all on the same team here. Okay. And that man's position is provider. And now when your position is supposed to be nurturer, okay, let's take a relay race team. On a relay race, it's called a 4x4 because it's 4 people and they run 4 laps, right? And at the end of your lap, you're supposed to hand your baton to the next person. They take off. What happens when we as women try to be providers is now you have 2 people running the first leg of the race and there's nobody to run the second one. So that means that neither the third nor the fourth one gets completed either. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody's so busy trying to be the provider that now nobody's being nurtured. Nobody's receiving the feminine aspects of care. Okay. And I know what I'm saying may be outdated and ancient and, oh, if she want to work, she should be able to. But look at what has happened and look at what has happened. Now they've had 2 children. They've had 2 children. And now these 2 children have to grow up in a broken home. Why? Why? They're not poor. Far from poor. So here's my thing. Here's my, I guess, challenge to us as women. Okay? If that man is making more than enough to provide for you, to give you and your kids stability, why won't you chill out and play your natural God-given role? I'm not saying some women don't have to provide, but that's not the case in this situation. And to bring it home to some of y'all, that's not the case in everybody's situation. Just because he didn't make $340 million a year doesn't mean that he don't have enough to provide. You understand what I'm saying? I really not speaking on the ins and outs and allegations of abuse or anything like that. And let me just say this, because I saw a TikTok, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, where a sister was saying that she had given someone in her family advice. And unfortunately, that family member was in an abusive relationship, and that family member has since been murdered by her abuser. Okay. So let me just say, yes, we advocate for marriages staying together, but ma'am, sis, cousin, if your life is in danger, run. What are you waiting for? What it's too late after you're gone to say anything. So I don't, I just in case someone needs to hear this, if you are being abused, it is okay to leave. Like, you do not have to stay and tolerate having physical violence committed against you. Like, no, that's not what we're going for here. Okay. Mary Lou, shalom and shalom, sis. I mean, she do be out here half naked. Why would he be cool with that? And exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, he has enough money to provide more than what she could get by being out here being naked. I think it's going to spill over into our main topic. So let's just go ahead and get into it. But first, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. If you like what I'm saying or you like what we got going on here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. $1 or $2 will do. Thank you in advance if you've given in the past. And yeah, thank you. Thank you if you've given in the past, and thank you in advance if you're going to give this evening. Yes, that's right. So shout out, listen, I know that today was probably difficult for some of us, right? To know that our family was gathering, and some of y'all had to be in the same house with some of this going on, okay? So listen, shout out to you if you just had to endure on today and you had to smell food that you were obedient and you did not eat. Special shout out to you because I can't imagine smelling all that food and not being able to eat it. But yeah, shout out to you if you just held on, if you endured, whatever you did to keep yourself busy. It may seem like it's not a big deal, but I promise you that it is. Earlier this week, me and the boys did a lesson on why we do not celebrate Thanksgiving. And I was trying to find a video to break it down for them because they're 5 and 8. I was trying to find a video to break it down for them, and I couldn't, right? So I told them this story and I shared it with the homeschooling group. So I was like, well, they liked it. Let me share it with y'all. So I told them to imagine that we were sitting at our table eating breakfast, right? And some white people came and kicked our door in. And I had to say white people because that's who we're talking about here, right? So some white people came in and kicked our door in. We're just sitting there eating breakfast, right? And even after they kicked our door in, we maybe tried to share the food with them a little bit. And instead of them just taking a little bit of the food, they took all our food, took all our clothes, killed us, took our pets, took our house, and told everybody it was their house, right? They've lived in our house. They start having children. Eventually, they're going to tell their children that this was their house and that even though we were here first, we were evil. They had to kill us. We deserve to die. And so the house is rightfully theirs. And so their children will tell their children will tell their children, and pretty soon no one's going to know the truth of what happened. And then I asked them, would you want people celebrating this every year? And a 5 and an 8-year-old were able to tell me, no, that sounds horrible. And so, of course, their question is, well, why are people doing this? Like, why? Because people in my family still celebrate. My mom does. My older kids, they still do. So, the younger kids are like, well, why are they doing this? And so I have to explain to them how we've been lied to all this time. The lies that we were told in school, the lies that our parents were told that they told us, and how we're dealing with this now. Um, so I get it. I get that it's hard. Especially when I had to remind myself. I spent like 33. No, wait, I just turned 43. We've been in a so I spent about 39, 40 years of my life following this tradition. Okay. Um, and so even when, I'm having those hard times, I have to remember, like, hold on, I was doing this for a very long time. But all praises to the most high. Like I told my kids, this is why I homeschool them, because I want them to know the truth up front. I don't want them to have to be 30, 40 years old trying to relearn everything. Like the Bible says, once again, becoming little children and having to come back for the most basic understanding through no fault of their own. So in order to prevent all that, I just homeschool my children. I'm a homeschool mom. Can you hear me? Yes. Are we friends on Facebook? If we're not, let me know. If we're not, connect with me on Facebook and I'll connect you to the group. It's a really good group. It's a melanated group. So it's a good group. Um, so yeah, and look, I know you have family members that probably wanted to argue with you up and down. Okay, yeah, I'll add you to the group. And I know you probably had family members that argued you up and down. Shalom and Shalom. What's up to everybody on the IG? I'm not ignoring y'all. You probably have family members that argued you up and down. And, I'm going to just say, like, make your point and move on. As you know, everybody's not going to receive. Everybody's not going to hear. Some people just not going to hear it because it's coming from you, right? But it's no need for you to be arguing and cantankerous. Say what you got to say, take your stand, and do what you are or are not going to do. You know what I'm saying? No sense in fighting about it or whatever. Somebody sent me a video from I meant to show y'all this video. My husband sent me a video the other day of this father walking into a daycare, and they had his son in a full-on Cinderella, Snow White. It was a Snow White gown. They had the son in a full-on gown. And now the father walked in there. Angelina, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. The father walks in the daycare. Hold on, y'all. The father walks in the daycare, and very calmly, to my surprise, very calmly tells them people, don't dress my son in a dress again. Do not put my son in a dress again. Very calmly. And the daycare people was like, yes, we sorry, it won't happen again. And another reason why I homeschool, because why would you think that that's okay in the first place? Okay. And that's the problem. The problem is that people think that it's okay in the first place. There was a time when you would not dare think to put a boy on a dress. Like, why would you do something like that? There was a time when this was like common knowledge. And now it's like we're at the total opposite end where you just don't even think twice about it. It's just, oh, okay, whatever. And here's what I don't like. Okay. These were non-Black daycare workers putting a dress on a Black boy. Shaka boom, shalom and shalom, sis. Okay. I'm going to say it again. Non-Black daycare workers putting a dress on a Black boy. Oh, it doesn't mean anything. Are you crazy? It means everything. All right. As a matter of fact, we're going to get into that. Let's go ahead and get into our main topic. Oh, it is sad. And you know what I said? Look, that dad was very calm. That dad was very calm, because I cannot assure you that me and that teacher wouldn't have been having a 1-2 knockout. Okay, we'd have danced a couple of rounds in that classroom, because what is your problem? Like, yeah, exactly. Me and a teacher, it would have been a drag. Now they'd have had me in jail. I'd have been in jail. They'd have been calling my husband, Mr. Phillips, we need you to come and get your wife. Because how is this okay? Okay, but let's get into my topic, and then I think we'll talk about that as well. So my husband and I were watching, what was we watching? Married to Medicine. I know how y'all hate reality show. My husband and I were watching Married to Medicine, right? And another one of the stars, if you want to call it, showed their assistant on the screen. Okay. And just like every other assistant, I'm going to say just almost like every other assistant of every other Black reality star, Black reality housewife, it's a gay man, a gay Black man, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe one, Deshawn Snow, from years and years ago, but she was only on for one season. I think she didn't have a gay Black man as her assistant. But if you go and look, Drew Sidora, Candy Burris, even Giselle Bryant last week on this Sunday, she had a gay Black man hanging out with her. Her hairstylist, a gay Black man. And so it just goes on, or even beyond reality TV. I don't know if y'all know Carisha, Young Miami. She has a show called Carisha Please. She's like all over the place. But her and this grown man, Saucy Santana, 300-pound man walking around with 6-inch nails and stilettos on, okay? So this is very prevalent in our culture, right? And so I'm sitting, I'm like, why? Like, why do all of these Black women feel the need to surround themselves with gay men? Because you're not going to tell me that there aren't any capable female assistants. You're not even going to tell me that there aren't any capable straight Black male assistants. Okay? So what is the attraction here? My husband suggested that they like it because they feel like they can talk to a man. They can get a man's opinion without having to put up with everything that comes with dealing with a man. Excuse me. And now, as any woman will tell you who's married to a real man, there's nothing that a gay man is going to tell you about a real man. They don't think the same. Their thought process is not the same. So there's nothing that they're going to tell you that's going to be real, that's going to be beneficial, that's going to help you in life, okay? And so when I did a little deep dive, I came across a video, and it was a gay Black man, and he was talking about his friendships with straight Black women. And a lot of what he was saying, and it was a rant video. It was a rant. He was angry. But the comments were people agreeing with him. And basically what he was saying is, in the case of the gay Black man, this is someone that the Black woman can comfortably put her foot on his neck. Okay? And what do I mean by that? When we're cool, it's cool, right? When everything is cool, when he telling you how dope your hair is and everything else, it's cool. When he telling you about this dress and get your nails, it's cool. But no, I'm not even gonna go there. It's cool Monday through Saturday. But see, y'all are going church on Sunday and talk all kind of trash. They all kind of punks, faggots, and sissies and everything else because you don't need them now because you're in front of your church family. And to do anybody like that is wrong. Okay? To do anybody like that is wrong. So please don't take it as me trying to defend one party against another. That's not what I'm doing here. As always, I'm trying to point out our behavior so that we can correct it. Okay. Another thing is because a gay Black man will never be a Black woman. They'll never be a woman. And so in the mind of a Black woman who feels the need to befriend this individual, she has one up on this man. Okay? Because no matter how much you try to tell us that, oh, just because I'm gay doesn't mean I want to be a woman, the things that you're saying aren't making sense, especially when we live in a day and time where you're dressing like women, you're behaving like women, you're accessorizing like women. Okay? I just I don't understand in their mind how they figure that we're not supposed to see it that way when you go through everything to emulate us. And the way that he was trying to explain it was when a little Black boy is gay, he doesn't necessarily want to play with the boys. So they get sent over to the girls. So that's just who they assimilate to. Okay, that was the explanation for why they tend to take on feminine characteristics. The fact of the matter, though, is that that's who you are trying to assimilate to. You're trying to assimilate to a woman. Okay? And so in the mind of these women, they can have that on them. And well, you can never be a woman, you can never be me. All you can do is pretend. Okay, so they have that up on them. And hold on, let me read some of these comments because I don't want the comments to get away from me. They're gonna agree with everything you say. And they're gonna agree with everything you say, I feel like, because in their mind, they're relating more to you as a woman. In their mind. They're not seeing themselves as a man. So it's impossible for them to offer you an opposing point of view when they don't have one. It's like you getting together with your girlfriends trying to get advice about men. No, that's crazy. We'll talk about that in a second. They doing your hair, your nails, and toes and picking out the outfit you wore to the club Saturday night. Exactly right. But on Sunday morning, they're trash. Or when you get around your mama and them, all of a sudden they trash. Let's see. Yes, reality counts in everything. In everything. Okay, so here's what I've discovered or feels been revealed to me throughout my life. Humans, people always will have a hierarchy. Whenever there are multiple people, multiple groups of people, different structures of people, people will always ensure that there is a hierarchy, meaning that they're always going to, whenever possible, try to make sure someone is beneath them. Why are you saying this? Let's look at the founding of this country as an example, okay? These Europeans came over here and did everything excuse me, let's be clear. The British came over here, did everything they possibly could to wipe out the Native Americans, right? Stole their land and everything else. Okay. And then as other European groups, European whites came to this country, they also felt the need to say that they were better than them. They had been here longer. They were land owning, aristocratic, whatever. They had bloodlines from Europe. So that entitled them to be better than Italians, Poles, Germans, Franks, whoever was coming over here, right? At the time, before at the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade, there was indentured servitude going on. You had white Europeans come over here, they would work for a certain amount of years and get their freedom, okay? What started to happen was the white indentured servants and the black and brown enslaved decided, like, wait a minute, we don't have to take this from them. There's more of us. And we're tired of it. Okay. So then you have Bacon's Rebellion, I believe it was recalled. Okay. They're getting together, they're fighting against the power structure, the land owning aristocracy, whatever. It's at this time that these white men decided, like, we need to get more of them on our side. We've got to break them up. Because if they get above us, then all hell's gonna break loose. Okay, so what they did at that time was they allowed the other white-skinned European immigrants to consider themselves a little bit better than their Negro slave counterparts simply because they had white skin, and that in itself made them superior. Okay, so what you then had was indentured servants getting their freedom, getting jobs, getting money, buying land, and then turning around and buying the same black and brown people that they had been enslaved with and that they were rebelling with the aristocracy against. Okay. And now these people who started out as indentured servants get to look down on the people who were right there with them fighting for the same rights. Simply because, well, I must be better than you because we started at the same place and look where I am now. I must be better than you. Nobody wants to work for all that they claim that they want or that they have. Okay. Again, let's look at just the extension of capitalism in this country. If you go back to the age of the robber baron, we're talking like 1920s. You find the forming of labor unions, and you had all the union busting. You had people killing. And these were white people killing white people. Let's be clear. You had owners of companies, you had your Rockefellers and your Vanderbilts having their workers killed because they didn't like the way they were being treated. Okay. So here's what we have to understand. When you get a certain group of people, and yes, I'm saying that Black women hold this same mindset. I'm going to explain it to you. When you get a certain group of people here who have acquired some type of clout, some type of power, some type of esteem, no matter where they've gotten it from, it's only effective if there is someone with less power, less clout, and less esteem. Because if there's no one with less, then who am I showing all of this off to? If there's no one with less, then who am I standing over? Who do I have power over if everyone has the same as me? And unfortunately, one of the things, see, just like the white indentured servant back in the day was allowed to work their way to their freedom, the Black woman has been given the ability to educate herself and work toward her freedom. And again, I'm not saying that all Black men do not have the same opportunity, but it is not a coincidence that Black women are the most educated group in this country. It is not a coincidence. It is also not a coincidence that Black men are the most incarcerated group in this country. We cannot keep looking at things that don't make any sense and refuse to figure out how this happened that way. Okay. Even from the very fact of them understanding that it is easier for girls to sit in school for 8 hours a day than it is for boys, and then refusing to do anything to help those boys beside medicate them. Nobody wants to believe in the school to prison pipeline until it's their son being unjustly incarcerated, or until it's their son being denied an education. Okay, but I'm here to tell you, and especially us as Black women, as the mothers of these Black sons, that it is our job to protect them. It's our job to have our eyes open to see what's going on. Again, because our man, if he's doing what he's supposed to do, and hopefully he is, our man is busy providing for the family. Okay. He's out there fighting the world, trying to make sure that the family is provided for. So, as the mom, it's your job to spot this and say, hold on, no, y'all not gonna do my child like that. Okay, but I'm getting off. I'm getting off. Let me come back. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Okay, so let's get back to the gay bestie. Um, and I will say that a lot of these women do not have strong Black men in their life. They don't have a husband. They do not have a husband. None of them. And you think that's a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. And I'm gonna tell you what the thing is, right? The thing is, if I talk to, even in my own mind, if I go to, let's say I'm having an issue with my husband, right? And I want to talk to somebody about it. But I want to vent. I want to vent. I don't want somebody to correct me. I'm not here for any counsel. I'm just here to vent and to say what I have to say and whatever. I'm not going to call someone who I know thinks like my husband. Because first of all, they're not going to sit down long enough to listen to my bull crap. Okay. Um, and then all they're gonna do is repeat what my husband is saying, right? Okay, so think about this. If I'm a single Black woman out here and I'm dating or whatever, and it's going how it's going, like it is, and I'm not ready to accept accountability for my behavior, I am not going to go to a man that's like the ones that keep rejecting me because they're the problem, not me. Okay. It's not my fault that I can't have a good man. It's their fault. So I don't want to talk to them. All right. But if I can get to a gay, if I can get a gay man to talk to, right, I can fool myself into saying, well, I did ask a man. I did talk to a man. But you're not really. You're fooling yourself. It's like a mirage. You know that that's not a real man in there. But you, to comfort yourself, and again, to avoid taking accountability, because you can't afford for anybody to call you out. Ooh, strong delusion. That's a good one. Yes. You can't afford for anybody to call you out. You can't afford for anyone to try to put you in your place. Okay? So I'm going to reach out for the branch of the nearest comfort. And if y'all remember Tyrese's wife a few weeks ago talking about how she had the wrong friends in her ear, those branches of comfort, the people that give you the words that tickle your ears, often lead to your destruction. They often lead to your destruction. The Black woman, as much as we don't like to admit it, socially, we're the low man on the totem pole. Okay. Um, and I know it's like, well, everybody say that and that's hate and da da da. No, I'm not hating on us. I need us to understand the truth. Okay. Um, we're the low man on the totem pole socially, but we keep associating with those things that make our situation the way it is. Okay. I personally feel like Black women having Black male gay best friends is self-destructive. Okay. If I am a Black woman, and I was gonna say my desire, but the fact of the matter is desire doesn't matter. Okay. And that's another thing we need to um get through our thick skulls, if I must say. Your feelings only count for like this much. Okay. The fact of the matter is, and I tell y'all this all the time, it's just like anything else you buy. You buy it and there are it comes with an instruction manual. The refrigerator, the TV, the dishwasher, the car comes with instruction manuals, guidelines, maintenance requirements, everything else. You as a human being come with an instruction manual. You did not create yourself. Therefore, you cannot dictate your own purpose. I hate when people say, I am the captain of my soul or whatever. I determine my fate. No, the hell you don't. You don't even determine if you're alive right now. It's literally not up to you to be alive right now. So, how do you think that you just woke up one day and all of a sudden I'm the master of my destiny? I real that level of humanistic thinking is really beyond me. Okay. Um, but unfortunately, some of us have decided, and again, I'm only talking to Black women. So why y'all picking on us? Because that's what I am, and that's who I'm talking to. Okay. Um, we decided one day that, oh, forget what the creator says. I'm going to do what I want to do. That's like taking a bottle of wine and saying, I know this wine says it's wine, but I'm going to repurpose it and say it's water. And then you're mad when you're drunk. Okay, that's like some of y'all today. Well, I know Thanksgiving was started to commemorate the savage betrayal of Native Americans, but I'm hungry. And so I'm going to say that I'm using this day to thank God. And that just sounds so backwards anyway. But this is what we do. We decide that we're strong enough and we're going to repurpose a thing, right? Even ourselves. Even ourselves. So instead of us understanding our God-given purpose and our God-given design, because you don't go, listen, I'm not going to go to the LG headquarters and tell them, excuse me, I know this says it's a dishwasher, but I really believe it would be better as a refrigerator. I really do. And therefore, I'm going to take this dishwasher and hook it up to my refrigerator tubes, and I'm going to use it as a refrigerator. They would probably have me committed on a 5150, because who says something like that? But if you stop to think about it, that's exactly how stupid we sound when we try to tell God that he didn't know what he was doing when he made us. And therefore his plan for us to be wives and reproduce and to be a helpmeet is all wrong. I'm going to replug myself to not be that. You sound crazy. And we have to be concerned with having these sweet besties around our children, especially our son. I don't want them around my sons or my daughters. Or my daughters. Hamashiach wasn't exempt. He said, take this cup from me, and turn around and said, if it be Abba's will. Hello, it's the Most High's word. We're just living in it. I had to I was talking to my boys the other day about, I forgot what we were talking about, but I had explained to them that to me, life is like a video game. And what do I mean by that? When you start a video game, a RPG, role playing game, you design your character, you get to decide where you want to go, and all this good stuff. I really feel that the Most High is like first player. Okay, he's at the first player controls, right? So again, I had to tell my kids this: your video game character doesn't look back at you and tell you that you did something wrong with them. Like, my sons play Roblox. If one of their Roblox guys turned around on the game and said, I don't like my hair brown, I want you to make it blue, we would all have a problem with that. And yes, I'm oversimplifying, but it's the same thing when you turn around and telling the Most High, I know that you created me for a man, but I've decided that I don't need a man. I know you created me to be married and to reproduce and to fill the earth, but I don't want to do that anymore. And here's the thing that I don't think that we realize. When you step out of service to the Most High, you're automatically lending your services to the opposite. Okay. You cannot have two masters. You cannot serve God and money. All right. And you might be like, well, why would you say money? That's what mammon is, first of all. And secondly, if you literally think about what you're doing, that's literally the choice that you're making. Okay. You are saying, I don't care what God has for me. I don't care what his plan is for me. I'm going to go out here and make this money. I want to make my money so I can ball out, so I can take my pictures for the gram, so I can stunt on people and everything else. I'm not going to have no man telling me what to do. I'm not going to compromise with nobody. I'm not going to have no kids running around tearing up my house. There was a time when we were concerned about leaving a legacy. When we were concerned about our children knowing us, what we did, who we were, and where we came from. But if we're not having those children, if we're not keeping these families together, if the only relationship, and see, here's the other thing, and if I If I'm in sin and I have no intention of leaving my sin, okay, I have no intention of leaving my sin. I'm gonna say that. If I'm in sin and I have no intention of leaving my sin, what better way to comfort myself than to surround myself with people who are more in sin than I? I know what y'all have been misled to think. All sin is the same. All sin weighs the same. It does not. It does not. Some things you can sacrifice for. Some things you make alms for. Other things you're getting stoned to death for. So no, let's establish that everything is not. Okay? And even on a like local human level, just think about your own thought process. Right? Not even that. Let's look at our freaking judicial system. Okay? Barring race. Okay, let's take race out the equation. All right. A thief is not getting the same sentence as a murderer, right? It's just not going to happen. So let's stop acting like there aren't different degrees. And also, let's stop acting like we don't try to hide our lower degrees of sin under, some higher degree mess. You use it to make yourself feel better. Like, yeah, I might be out here fornicating, but at least I'm not gay. And stop acting like these conversations don't take place behind these gay people back, because I know that they do. Because Black women are catty and petty and jealous. And this is another reason why we can't have other Black women friends. That's why it's easier to be friends with a gay man. Because again, one thing he'll never have on you is that he'll never be a woman. All right, no matter how much y'all sit up here and kiki and kaka, he's never going to put on them heels and look like you. He's never going to put on that dress and look like you. He's never going to put on that makeup and look like you. So in your mind, well, at least I'm not that. And some of us who even don't have gay best friends, we're guilty of it. Well, I might have that problem, but at least I'm not that. I've been guilty of it. I do it now. Like, I might have a problem with sugar addiction, but at least I'm not, you know what I'm saying, on my 600-pound life. But does that take away from the fact that I need to slow down on the sugar that I eat? Absolutely not. But it makes me feel not as bad about it when I can hear a doctor now telling somebody, you could have lost 150 pounds this month. You don't understand what I'm saying? It's the comfort. And it's like your little fire hiding inside a bigger fire. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's paying attention to the bigger fire. Nobody's paying attention to the little fire going on down here. And this is another reason why you feel so comfortable talking to this person, because you know what? As much as you don't want to admit it, when you know a person is not living right, it is easy to disregard them, even if what they're telling you is true. All right. And now I'm not talking about, hear me, like in other situations, I'm not talking about straight up obvious things, right? Like, me and my husband had this conversation all the time. It's certain people that just can't tell me things. You just can't tell me things. Like, if you're not living like you're supposed to, if your husband or your wife don't have no good report about you, I don't know. No, you can't tell me nothing. You could be right as rain. I really could need to look both ways before I cross the street. But no, you ain't got your life together. Don't come over here telling me nothing. And so, in this fake delusion of the Black woman and her gay bestie, I can come to you and you might be talking right, but I can, please. You don't even know you put the round peg in the round hole. How you going to tell me something? Makes you feel better about yourself, and that's a daggone shame. Right. Better go get you some real friends who will stay in there behind the chains. Exactly. And but that's what I'm saying. I don't have to listen to that. I don't have to listen to that. Because you're not right yourself. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Thank y'all for joining me this evening. And so, when you think you have all the answers, here's what I'm gonna say. Black women, we think we have all the answers because I'm gonna go back and say from at least the time of the welfare system, Black women in general have been given like a cheat sheet, like a little cheat code. I'm gonna give you this welfare. I'm gonna feed your kids. I'm gonna provide a roof over your head. All the things a man is supposed to do, and now you don't need them anymore. And here's the question: was the welfare system created out of a need, or did the creation of the welfare system create a need? What do I mean by that? Were black men just so absent in the home and so messing up that the government needed to subsidize the Black woman and her children? Or was welfare created, subsidize the Black woman and children, and then therefore cause the Black woman to separate herself from the Black man? One of two things happened, okay? And yes, I know we're talking about the 60s and 70s. This is before crack, but not before heroin, okay? So we're dealing with that drug issue, we're dealing with unemployment, and we're dealing with migrant workers being brought into this country. And I know this is a current issue, okay? But it's happened before in our history and it's happening again, okay? Whenever this system looks to disenfranchise Black people, they will always bring in other minorities because the Black man is always going to be the least desired. You can't even say that about our Latin. I want to be politically correct here, okay? Our Latin brothers and sisters, at least they have a reputation for working hard. So when they back then were bringing them in, this is where all the jobs were going now, because these are illegal citizens and I don't have to pay them like I pay this Black person who has the rights of a citizen. I can pay this illegal immigrant scraps. So now instead of gainfully employing this Black man and allowing him a chance to, build himself up, provide for his family, nah, I'm gonna get this illegal alien $5 a day and leave a Black person to figure it out. Hold on. Right. Give you a voucher to keep the kids in daycare so you can go to school. Right. And won't need a man. Exactly. That's exactly what they do. Do you remember the movie called Uptight with Ruby Dee? I don't remember that movie. Uptight sounds familiar, but I have not seen it. But if you're telling me I need to watch it, then I will. So this is what's been done, right? And this is another thing that kind of breaks my heart about us not knowing our history. And here we see it being repeated, right? Because is this country not in the middle of economic decline? Are we not facing the highest unemployment rate and the dollar is falling and all this other stuff? So why are we busing migrants to this country? As a studier of history, that is one of the tactics of war, flooding a land with foreign citizens. This is not when you go back to the time I'm speaking of them busing in migrants, this is when you have Black people moving to the North and having factory jobs, right? So they're working in these factories in Ford and Chevy or whatever. They're making this decent money. They're building cities, okay? This is when Detroit was thriving. Chicago, you had the Midwest. You understand what I'm saying? Like Black people were finally doing something for themselves. So, we got to bring in somebody to knock them off their feet. And I wish that we could I wish that we could get this, right? And I wish that we would understand as Black women that as long as we're looking to put our foot on somebody's neck, we're always going to find ourselves at the bottom. It is not our place. Excuse me, hold on a second. It has a scene in there about welfare and a Black man and a Black woman. I'll post a quick. Okay. That reminds what was that movie, or am I thinking of Diane Carroll? Maybe we're talking about this. No, I think we're talking about a different movie. But there's a movie with Diane Carroll, and it kind of told the same story. Um her like the man was providing, she had started dating this man and he was providing her stuff. He had bought like a blender or something like that. And the welfare worker was coming over, so she had to hide the gifts the man brought her and stuff. Crazy. Sound like insurgents. Yes. So I yes, that's what an insurgent is actually. Excuse me. So, um, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I want us I want us to understand that aiding in the destruction of Black men only aids into our own destruction. And what do you mean by that? What I'm saying is we w- we can't survive out here without Black men. Do y'all not understand that? And those of us who have come into the knowledge and understand that our race is determined by our fathers should be even more alarmed at the rate at which Black fathers are disappearing. And I'm not talking about Black men, because there are plenty of Black male bodies walking around. I'm talking about Black fathers, and I don't mean baby daddies. I'm not talking about sperm donors. I'm talking about men who will be husbands, who will be fathers, who will be present, who will set an example, and who will lead the way. Okay. Even when it comes down to customs, morals, laws, regulations, it is the job of the man to pass that down. I'm not just teaching my sons what I think is correct. No, my husband and I have agreed this is the way we want to raise and rear our children. So, okay, wife, this is what you teach them. One thing that I have had to come to the conclusion of is that we as women are just emotionally led creatures. Listen, sometimes it's not even our fault. Like because I feel like because we've been forced into this cogwheel of capitalism and we haven't been given the liberty to follow our bodies, excuse me, respond to our bodies and respond to our cycle as we need to, um, we forget that it is a factor in our lives. We have been taught by feminism to downplay those needs, right? And I mean, there's a medicine for everything. You feel like your hormones are getting out of hand, then you go get a shot for this. You go get hormone replacement. You get on this pill. You get on that pill. You do this and you do that. There's always a man-made answer for what the Most High intended to happen in our bodies anyway. And I'm not saying, hear what I'm saying. I'm aware of the fact that the food that we eat contributes to a lot of our health issues, but we cannot deny the fact that menopause is just like menstruation, the whole situation. Menstruation and menopause are just normal parts of life, okay? It was not until I was able to stay at home that I realized how much of this stuff is just shut down with medicine and we're told to just push it to the side. Okay? And here's another thing, and I must say this. Here's what I don't understand about the whole God is a woman and the black woman is God argument. If God was a woman, why do we have periods? I mean, no, seriously. Let's just come on. That makes absolute like it makes no the suffering that women go through makes no absolute sense. And so see here's another thing, another reason why I think black women will hold on to the gay bestie, because to them you are a godlike figure. You're everything that they could never be. Okay? Um y- you're a female, you have a vagina. You can give birth. You know what I'm saying? You're everything that a gay man will never be. So in your eyes, they are always looking up to you, and now you can be a godlike figure to them. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't that crazy? Most High ain't never could not have ever been. Could not have ever been because first of all, I have a hard time thinking that God is a woman and he allowed Eve to fumble the bag like that. Like, come on. Okay. So many reasons why that's not true. But what I'm saying is, I feel like it's that we're looking for that kind of admiration and validation. And I talked about this last week. We want to matter everywhere else but in our home. You want the world to care about you. You care about your likes, follow, subscribe. And I'm not listen, I'm here for the likes too and all that other stuff. I get that, okay? But oh my gosh, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. But like, share, subscribe. Lost my train of thought. Sorry, y'all. Oh, listen, I know what kind of woman I am, okay? I definitely better wipe this place out a few times. Like I can probably name you off 10 points in history right now where I would have blew this whole place up and started all over again. We would probably still be on Pangea, okay? If we had to start all over again. All right. So I don't believe that anyway. Okay, validation. Right. Okay. And so here's the other thing. We are we're constantly in a world where we're receiving mixed messages, right? And if we don't decide what message we want to receive, then we're constantly going back and forth and searching for validation for our purpose, right? Because on the one hand, you have the black liberal feminists telling you you don't need a man and you can do it on your own and um you can have your fulfilling life, and they'll tell you that single, childless women are the happiest women on earth and all this other stuff. And then on the other hand, a lot of you, those of you who have been called to be such, feel that inner calling to be a traditional wife and mother, right? And so you're tossing back and forth and back and forth, trying to decide which way to go. And so when you are struggling and you surround yourself with people who will back you one way or the other, that can provide the validation that you're looking for more often and sometimes can cause you to continue on a right path because I'm going to tell you not a lot of validation for doing the right thing. Okay, you're not going to get that too often, all right? But so when you are deciding to do other things to chase the things of this world, you are looking for somebody to co-sign that for you. You are looking for someone to make you feel better. I say a lot of times that people want other people to do what they're doing so that they feel better about it. I feel that way about a lot of these lifestyle experts that get on here and promote these alternative lifestyles. If you're so comfortable with it and about it, then why do you need, you know what I'm saying? Why you need other people to do it? So I feel like that's where the gay bestie comes in too, because they're always going to validate no matter what, even in your mess. They're gonna validate, right? They're never gonna look at you and tell you, "Oh, honey, you're the problem and you need to get help, and I don't wanna deal with you anymore until you get your ish together." Whereas a straight man is gonna tell you that. I'm not dealing with that no more. I don't have to tolerate that from you, and I will not. Single childless women are miserable. That's why they stuck up their sugar daddy. But and even and like so even when it comes to having girl best friends, right? Because another woman is not going to take your crap like the gay bestie. Because to the gay bestie, all your cattiness and stuff, that's cute, and all the little slick comments and the kiki and a ha ha ha. That's cute, and we can exchange shade back and forth and all this other stuff. But you not gonna sit around and talk slick with another woman. All right, she not gonna allow that. If she got any kind of sense, she gonna leave you right where you are. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? It's no wonder you can't keep a man. It's no wonder you ain't got nothing going on for yourself. Look at you. But you don't want to hear that from another woman because she is you. She knows what you're capable of. She knows how you're thinking. She knows what you're thinking. She knows why you did what you did, and she's not afraid to call you out on your bull crap. You come up with some story and she'd be like, "Oh, okay, so what you wanted to happen, what you tried to manipulate was," but no matter how much your gay bestie play in your makeup, he's not going to understand the inner workings of your mind and therefore will not be able to call you out on that bull crap. You're going to just keep going and going and going in the wrong direction. You don't want anybody telling you right from wrong, and that's the problem with us. Right, exactly. That's why you ain't right. Oh, okay, this is what's wrong with you. We don't wanna hear that because we don't really wanna improve. That's why it's easy to keep the gay bestie. They're not gonna push us to improve. For what? They don't wanna be with us. We can't be a family. We don't want to be with anyone that's going to put a mirror to our face, and that is what a straight man will do. Even as a friend, and I grew up having male friends, like, I just did not ever have a lot of female friends, okay? And so even in being friends with dudes, it's just certain stuff they just not gonna deal with. Like, you're not about to sit there and kick a bunch of BS to your male friend, because he gonna be like, "Girl, if you don't shut the hell," he not gonna say it like that if he's straight. You understand? In his straight male way, he gonna tell you, "Shut up with that nonsense." That don't even, you know what I'm saying? But we don't want anyone to call us out on our crap. We don't want anyone to hold us accountable. We can't deal with the fact that we might possibly be wrong. And it's because for decades and centuries, no matter what we said, it had to be right because there was no one else for you to turn to, okay? Think about the whole big mama uh mammy trope that is prevalent about black women. Okay. Um, If y'all aren't watching, there's a show called Lawman, Bass Reeves. It comes on Paramount Plus. It's about a black man who was a slave and became a deputy in the West, right? But even on this show, the man is gone most of the time, and the woman is left home to raise the kids and care for the house and everything else. Okay. So what you have eventually is generations of black women who have grown up thinking that they're in charge, what they say is right, what they want to do is right, and anyone who has a problem with it, they're the issue, not her, because she's in charge. So whatever she says goes. Okay. But the problem is now we have sons who grow up and they're men. My 5 and 8 year old, they call me out on my crap even at 5 and 8 years old. And you're like, what? A 5 and 8 year old call you out on your crap? Respectfully, respectfully. But they're men. And I, as their mother, don't want them ever thinking that they have to take misbehavior from any woman. Okay, you know, you're their mom. How can you misbehave? Just because I'm their mom doesn't mean I'm perfect. Just because I'm their mom doesn't mean that I don't lose my patience. It doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes. Okay. I need them to see their mom as a total and complete human so that when they are looking for a wife, they are understanding a total and complete human. They are not looking for some godlike figure who can do no wrong and whatever she says goes. No, they're looking for a total and complete woman who doesn't mind compromising, doesn't mind admitting when she's wrong and getting up and doing better. I want to be what I want my sons to look for in a wife. Okay? And it's weird to see other people witnessing our conversations because my son Atticus Atticus is very competitive, okay? He don't care if you 2 or 102. If y'all doing the same thing, he's going to make it a competition. And so when he goes to boxing training, he likes to bet his coach that he can jump rope more than him, right? So this one particular day, I was telling him, Atticus, don't do that. Atticus, don't do that. He gonna out jump you. Don't do it. Don't do it. But Atticus, being his father's son, didn't listen to me. He went ahead and took the bet anyway. And what happened? He lost. So while he was down there doing his 50 push-ups, he's like, Mom, why didn't you tell me? You're being a butthole. Why didn't you tell me? And the way people looked at him like, oh my gosh, how dare he say that? But I was just like, boy, I'm not being a butthole. I told you, da 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 da. We continued our conversation, okay? And it's crazy to me. But I allow my children the room to respectfully express themselves. I don't know why we feel like we're raising a bunch of puppies who have to just constantly be going around licking people's hands and begging for a morsel of decency and respect. No, these are they're not fully they are not self-guiding, but they are autonomous individuals who grow up with a pattern of behavior that they will emulate as they become old enough and independent too. Okay. And so back to what the sister was talking about having them around your kids, because I see a lot of that going on too. When there's no hetero male figure around, when all the boy hears is how black men are this and black men are dogs and black men don't take care of their families. And here's the thing, you may feel like, well, I don't say that verbally. No, but your constant rejection of male authority says that louder than any words that you could ever say. Your constant embracing of feminine effeminate men says that you hate strong Black men more than your words can ever say. And so, in your son's mind, does he want to grow up to be a strong Black man that apparently his mom and all her friends hate? Absolutely not. Why would he want to? When it's easy to get on the internet and find any number of people constantly berating and bashing Black men. And this is another reason why I homeschool my boys. Black boys, well, Black kids in general, Black girls and Black boys, we are what's the word I'm looking for? We are aged up. Aged up. And have you ever seen the pictures where they'll have a little Black girl in an outfit, maybe her hair is out, she has on a skirt or whatever. And then they'll have a little white girl about the same age, hair done, and usually, you know how they wear their hair. Their hair is all out. The little Black girl might have her hair in ponytails or something. The little white girl hair is all out, has on a skirt, whatever, whatever. And the little Black girl is considered fast. Same outfit, just about the same hairstyle, but the little Black girl will be labeled fast. Not we, this system that we're in over what's the word I'm looking for? Like it forces our children to it puts our children in positions that they have no business being in because they are still children, but people who hate us refuse to see them that way. Because your child can never be equal to my child. You can't have the same. And you know what? As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, excuse me, we're talking about a group of people who historically have never cared for their own children. I mean, if you even go back to medieval times where they were signing their kids up for child labor and had them cleaning out chimneys and going into mines and coal factories, and then they were selling their children off, were they not? And then once they, had their scruples about them to acquire some slaves, the slaves were raising the children. So we're talking about a group of people who have never in their generations taken on the personal responsibility of raising children, which explains why they cannot understand Black childhood. They don't understand white childhood. Which is why I refuse to send my Black kids to school, because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to have my 8-year-old be treated as if he's a full-grown adult. Okay? I'm not going to have my 5-year-old be looked at as an adult, or I'm not going to have them live with the expectations of someone twice their age. Just because you decided that, oh, he's tall for his age. Or whatever excuse you want to make up. I'm not going to subject my children to that as long as the Most High gives me the ability and the breath in my body. And that is why I will keep them at home. Another reason why I will keep them at home. Right, exactly. Hold on. Let me get to some of these comments. Hold on. Right. Listen, I've heard it said a lot of times that women who don't have other women friends are like sus or whatever. But I think women who don't have male friends are sus because okay, you watch Bass Reese? Did you see where he made Curtis, the little boy, not shoot that white man and the white man shot the little boy? Oh, that made me so mad. That I almost stopped watching it after that. Yes, we make mistakes too all the time. All the time. All the nannies clubs and groups they put their children in so they can have their outings. Hello, boarding school. Boarding school? Who sends their kid away to boarding school? Okay. And Black people do it too. Those of us who have been influenced by them, yes, they do it too. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. And so I just want to say this. In conclusion, the black woman and her gay bestie is really a study in a relationship. I don't want to say it's an oppressive relationship. I will say this, most of these gay besties actually wind up working for these black women. I have not seen one. Well, maybe Carisha and Santana, I don't know. But for the most part, the gay bestie is usually their assistant, their stylist, their hairdresser, their something or other. They are some form of assistance in helping them to maintain the image that they have chosen to put forth into the world, okay? If you remember back in the RHOA early days when Phaedra was pregnant, she had Dwight Eubanks put on her over the top baby shower. Okay. Or Giselle Bryant with her gay hairstylist. Like the gay bestie is like the fairy godmother. They're supposed to help you with your hair, your nails. They're supposed to help you dress. And then they're just supposed to disappear when you have no need for them, or they work for me. So it's it's not an equal friendship. It's not the same friendship as me and another black woman who is my intellectual equal. It's not the same relationship there. Okay. Um we as black women have become so weak that we cannot stand to be criticized or corrected. And yes, it is a weakness. As long as you cannot stand to be corrected, you will continue to send yourself down the broad road to destruction. We have become so puffed up, and what I mean puffed up, like empty, uh, by the trappings of capitalism that we have been allowed access to. We become so puffed up that we forget about the things that provide us with the intestinal fortitude to make it through life. We forgot about the family structure that, even though, yes, we went through slavery and our families were destroyed, okay? But there was a little period in there, right after slavery and right before Jim Crow laws became what they were. This period's called Reconstruction, and nobody really likes to talk about this. And also, let me say this, I'm not ignorant to the fact that life was different for different classes of black people. I think this is something that we often forget when we are studying black American history, okay? When you're talking about the Reconstruction period, you have to remember the fact that those with white fathers, those with slave owner fathers, had more to start out with, okay? So when you see the beginning of the black bourgeoisie and the black middle class, these are those children with black mothers and white fathers. And because of their white fathers, they were able to have that head start on everybody else. Okay. But even within that, you see black people working their working their way up, owning businesses now, uh having families, stable families. Okay. So I don't like for us to paint this narrative that, oh, black people never had families. And ever since slavery, we were just, oh, girl, no, you didn't. No, you did not say that. Nobody wants to talk about that. And so it's not this thing where we never had it right. No, we had it right. We had Black families, strong Black men as leaders. And I'm not gonna let people paint this in there. And this is why I don't these conversations frustrate me because um if you mention a Black marriage and a Black family, the first thing anybody wants to throw up is, oh, I bet he was doing her wrong, or, Black men aren't good husbands and all of this and all of that. When the fact of the matter is that that's not true at all. I venture to say that I know more Black husbands and fathers who are present in their families' lives than I know men who aren't. You understand what I'm saying? And so, unfortunately, and this is something that I this is a big con about con, like negative, about social media. Just like it can allow us to come together with good ideas, it can allow us to come together with bad ideas, okay? Every culture has an oral history. If you just go as a student of history, you just know this, right? Before there was writing in the printing press, people passed their history on orally, okay? Um, and so have you have the resurgence of that in social media. Why am I saying that? Because anybody can get on social media and type something and are more easily given credibility than if they were to say that in person. Okay. If some of these people stood on a stage and told some of the stories that they try to tell on social media, we would laugh them out of town. Like, what the heck is you talking about? That don't even sound real. You sound crazy. That's not what's happening with me in my life. So sorry for you. But because people are on social media now, we, for some reason, have started to just take a stranger's word as gospel. And so, look, she had a horrible relationship with a Black man, and look what a Black man did to her, and look what a Black man did to her, and oh my gosh, Black men are horrible. But I said this again, anytime you deal with a group of people, there's going to be good and bad in that group of people. If I only dated white men, I would have bad experiences with white men and good experiences with white men. Okay, so if your life experience, it's just like any other relationship. Me and my mama have good and bad times. Okay, like there's sometimes me and my mama beefing and we don't talk. That don't mean I don't love her or anything like that. It's just, okay, this was a bad time. Okay, and I'm using this to replace my mama with Black men in general. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have problems with this one or that one or whatever, but that doesn't mean you throw away the whole assembly of Black men. I mean, y'all will go to Kroger, buy apples. One of the apples is bad in the bag. You'll throw that apple out and keep eating the rest of the apples. I know I do. But y'all have one experience with one Black man, and then you're ready to throw the whole thing out, circling back, forgetting the thing that gave us the intestinal fortitude to get to where we are today. Okay? We need our families. I'm going to tell y'all something. I took my mom, my daughters, took my sons to see Jurassic World live. If you're in the Atlanta area and you have little kids, take them to see Jurassic World. It's cute for little kids. My 8-year-old, I don't know, he's a bit sarcastic. But I wouldn't go older than 8. Like, if they're older than 8, don't do it. But 8 and younger, definitely. It was a good time. But so we were standing in line, and this white man and his son were trying to get by. And he pushes his son in front of him, and he's like, just cut through. And I was like, excuse me, like, you're pushing my son. I didn't say this, but I'm like, you're pushing my sons out the way and everything else. And I'm just thinking, like, if my husband was here, I know he wouldn't have did that. If my husband was here, I know he would not have done that. He'd have walked his butt around, or he'd have said, excuse me, like he had some dang on sense. And this is what we as Black women as a group have to realize. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter if it's 100, 1,500, 50 million Black women. We are no match for a race and a culture that has their men intact. Okay, I don't care how many of us Black women have degrees, PhDs. I don't care how many of y'all went to the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force. I don't care if you call yourself a stud, a butch, whatever. Take all the testosterone you want, have all the surgeries you want. I don't care how many of us you get together, we are no match for a race and culture that has their men strong and intact, and we are going to lose every time. We're going to lose every time. They show us this on a micro level every day with the aggressions, with the comments. I was at my daughter's ceremony for like she got good grades or whatever. I had on a long skirt. It was long and it kind of like flared out at the bottom. Do you know this white man still walked up to me and looked me up and down? Now, I will say this. I think he was a cross-dresser. I think he was a cross-dresser though, because he was like, "Oh, girl, I like that skirt. I like the way it flare out." And, they making the bell bottoms like that or whatever. So it was just a little off-putting the way he was looking at me. But again, I say, if my husband was there, you understand what I'm saying? That wouldn't have happened at all. And so I don't understand how we will complain about the microaggressions. We'll complain about the girl. Yes, I laughed. Shaka boom. Don't look. I was so confused. And my first, okay, you know how somebody look you up and down, and you're like, ugh, like why are you looking at me? Like it didn't come off complimentary. It was weird. Because it's like, I don't know if it's sexual or if he just want my outfit. Like, okay, he's looking at my body like he like it, but I don't think he like it like that. I think he like it like he want to live in it. Okay. So it was weird, but I'm saying even as we experience this in our day-to-day living, I don't understand why we as a group and as a collective will not understand this. I don't understand why we won't get this through our skulls. Okay? Why we insist on going out here. And I just watched a video on, what channel was it? Now You Know. I think that's the channel. Yes, girl, living it. Like, no, I think he wanted to be me. Like, oh my gosh, what was I watching? Real Housewives of New Jersey. And this is like one of the first seasons. And so Danielle is jealous of Dina. And so Dina's like, I don't know what this girl wants from me. Does she wants to like skin me and wear me like last year's Versace? That's how I felt, like he wanted to skin me and wear me like an outfit. I mean, it was crazy. But anyway, yeah, so that's a problem with the gay bestie, right? Because you're basically co-signing the destruction of your strength. The Black man is a Black woman's strength. I know I'm not supposed to say that. We're supposed to be strong and independent on our own. But let me tell you, as a Black woman who has a strong Black man in my life that I can lean on, that's where your strength is, honey. Nothing else is, listen, after the Most High, nothing else is going to sustain you. Nobody can come and speak to your soul. I don't understand how y'all be comfortable letting these white men play in your hair. And speaking of white men playing in hair, sidebar, can we get back to gatekeeping? Because I'm so tired of seeing white people braid in Black people's hair. I've had enough. I'm so tired of. I saw a reel yesterday. This Black girl went to Ulta of all places to get her hair done. Listen, if your hair does not do like mine, don't touch my hair. You have no idea how to handle this. And it bothers me because it's like y'all don't understand the history of Black women in our hair. Y'all don't understand how at a time we were forced to cover up our hair because they were fascinated by it. They were fascinated by our hair. Do you know that that's why white women started getting perms? because they was trying to get their hair to curl up like this. And so for now, and then y'all paying them? Y'all paying them? I can't, We have forgotten too much of our history as Black women. We have forgotten. And listen to me. I know we're told about Harriet Tubman freeing the slaves, but do you think she was the only one? Do you think there wasn't Black men out there risking her? Nat Turner? Do you gosh, what is the brother's name? All right, I can't think of his name. Okay, but there were slave rebellions and runaways led by Black men. And see, the Black men that we're told about, like Frederick Douglass, you know, when you get into their history, you find out, or like W.E.B. Du Bois or a few of the others, you find out that 9 times out of 10 they were mulatto. And then but you find out that Frederick Douglass left his Black wife to get a white wife. You understand what I'm saying? So even when they try to call themselves uplifting us, it's always some kind of cut in there. Okay? But don't think that there weren't Black men working behind the scenes. Remember all the pictures that they showed us of them lynching Black men. Remember those pictures. These are the Black men that they're not telling you about. What about all the Black men that they bombed in Pennsylvania, the move bombing? What about all the Black men and Black families that they bombed in Oklahoma? What about all the Black men and Black families that they bombed in Rosewood? No, these were Black men, husbands and fathers, but you will never heard their praises sang because that does not fit the system and the agenda of white supremacy. No, we can't let these Black women think that they have a refuge in a Black man. We can't let them think that these Black men love them. Anytime a race of people go and conquer another race of people, the first thing they do is rape and impregnate the women. When a new head lion emerges in a pride, they kill off all the other lions' children. Like, I don't understand. We witness this through history and we talk about it. They tell you about the monarchs of Europe and Asia and how new families would come into power, or how a new man, and they could even be members of the same family. Like if the brother came into power, they killed off the rest of the brothers. If the cousin came into power, they killed off everybody under them. They always kill off any chance for opposition. Hello, when we were in Egypt, why did Pharaoh want to enslave us? Because if we get too strong and powerful, we'll team up with our enemies and we'll conquer them. They always want to exterminate the threat. But unfortunately, we Black women we're the ones that's working with the enemy. We have joined up with the enemy to get rid of the Black man. We are doing their job for them. It's like we're the spy. We're the conduit. Well, what do you mean? We're not tearing them up. We're not destroying them. We are. And I'm going to tell you one of the main ways that we destroy them. And please understand, I'm not saying this to excuse laziness. I'm not saying this to excuse unemployment. I'm not saying this to excuse any of that. But what I am saying is you have to understand that, listen, this Black man may not come with all this inheritance, okay? He may not come with generational wealth. He may not have a house already for you. He may not have land already for you. These may be things that you two have to work together to build up, and that's okay. But we live in such a day and time that we feel like if a man doesn't automatically come with these things, then we should not give him the time of day. Now, I'm not saying for anybody to hear what I'm saying when I say this, date down. Okay. I listen, ma'am, sis, cousin, if you worked your behind off and you are Dr. So-and-so, I'm not telling you to date the bus driver. I'm that would not be wise. That would not be wise. Just like I told you in the conversation me and my husband had earlier, it just doesn't work. It does not work when the woman makes more money than the man. I'm sorry, it doesn't. But you, Dr. Mams's cousin, while you are in the midst of other doctors, and maybe you see white doctors who've come from generations of doctors and Indian doctors, and they've come from generations of doctors, and their kid is a legacy admit at college, and they have inheritance, and they have this and they have that. You'll overlook the black doctor because he's first or second generation and may not have all that for you to come into. That's how they get us to destroy our own people. Cause it's like, dang, I don't work this hard. And I worked for a black man. Well, a black oral surgeon. I worked for a black oral surgeon, okay? And I can attest personally, as I've seen the finances, this man's making millions of dollars a year, okay? But he told us plenty of stories about how he tried to date black women in college and date black women in medical school. And the problem was that they were so tied up in their own careers. They didn't have time to cater to a relationship or cater to him. But guess who did? The white Peruvian girl that saw him. She had time to show up at the hospital with lunches and dinners. She would come up there and sit with him whenever he had time. And now what is she doing? Sitting at home raising his black children. Am I saying that black women should just throw away whatever they're working on? No, I'm not saying to throw it away, but I am saying that we need to start making time to invest in husbands and families. I tell all my daughters, yes, go to college and get your degree, but come out with a ring also. You know what I'm saying? You can get your MRS and your BS. Hello, Atticus. Here, sit on my lap so everybody can see you. Say shalom. Right. You could be right. Hold on. Let me read this comment. You could be first generational wealth, building a whole foundation. Exactly. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that because we're so busy comparing. We like to talk about the disparities amongst black people, and we'll talk about racism, especially when it affects us. But for some reason, when it comes to picking a mate, we feel like that all that should go out the window, and it's hypocritical. And it just does not make any sense. Okay, none at all. Thank you for joining me on this evening. I hope something I said was helpful to you, whether you're live or on the replay. If you like something I said, or you like what we have going on here at the House of Mono, or you just like looking at Atticus every week, smile Atticus, please head over to the Cash App $ the House of Mono. $1 or $2 will do. And we thank you so much. Want to be at the top without climbing the mountain first, because we don't understand the generations of wealth. We just don't understand how that works. Angelina, say shalom.
Shalom, Angelina.
And Miss Angelina. You don't be calling adults by their first name. You can't do that. You wanna tell the people anything? You want to talk about your jump rope and boxing? No.
Head over to F3.
F3. You gotta tell them to go to the Facebook page or the Instagram.
Go to the Facebook page of the Instagram.
Okay, and then you gotta tell them to follow your mommy on all social media. No, you're not gonna say it. You want me to say it? Okay. If you're not already, please follow me on all your social media platforms at Miss Mono's World, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'll be all around these content creator streets. Once again, if you are not following my husband, the head of my household, please follow him at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. all those good things. The Nasaya TV app. Shout out to my audience on Nasaya TV. Thank you so much for joining me. The Nasaya TV app, Roku's, Apple TVs, Fire Sticks, any smart TV, you can download the app. If you're not able to get to your TV, please head over to the web, nasaya.tv. You can watch me live there Thursdays at 8 o'clock. Or you can watch past episodes, not just of me, but of other righteous content. And then they have like commercial movies and stuff on there too. They have content just for children. It's really dope app. You really need to get it. Yes. What about you? Okay, so
Me and Captain White could play together and find bugs and lizards and snakes and frogs. Last time when we went to FC, we saw a little baby frog. It wasn't a tadpole. It was just a baby frog. Captain Day kept swimming to him after he tried to let it go in the ocean.
Oh, really? See, they see frogs at F3. Listen, F3 last year was off the chain. It was such a good time. If you can, next year, Lord willing, bring the family out. It is going to be a good time. Mikhail, shalom and shalom. Yes, Atticus is giving his testimony. Look, let's read. She said, "You tell your story, Atticus."
I don't have a story.
You told the story about the frog. That's what she was saying. All right, you guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. Listen, I'm trying to get y'all boy to come back to YouTube to start going live again. The man has been working. I know, but I'm trying to get him back on YouTube. So y'all please continue to pray for us with that effort. Is that all? That's it, boo? What? Okay, we only got 3 more minutes. What you got to say?
We do bounties indoors, outdoors,
Yes, we do bouncies. Our company is called Top Tier Parties. We do set up indoor and outdoor bouncy houses if you're in the metro Atlanta area.
And if you want any shirts, the name is the Print Dog. Call the Print Dog or the Bouncy House Company.
Doing gang things, living super clean.
Daddy
came up.
One time for my king doing king things. He got a good name.
For the puppies, that's right. Speaking of which, if you follow me, then you know Shira. We're waiting for puppies from her. She's my favorite little baby, so we're waiting for her puppies to come out soon. Let him work. Listen, I'm not stopping him from working. I'm just trying to get him to, spend some time over here. Yeah. Yeah. She was laughing at me. It's a good laugh, though. It wasn't a bad laugh. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with Atticus. Stop, boy. I will see y'all here next Thursday at 8 p.m. In the meantime, catch me in these content creator streets, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, at Miss Mono's World. Shalom and shalom. We love you.
Love you.
Good night.
Mono. Living super clean. Daddy came up. One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing.
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue Magad. Now also available on Nasaya TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss it, sisters and cousins.
Let him save you in the end like a